Well, good day everybody and welcome to Bowen. It's Sunday and yes, I'm back at it again. I was supposed to be having a sleep in this morning and a nice easy day, but unfortunately I had to come down. I had to get up at 4 o'clock this morning and come to Mount Aberdeen to move a front end loader to Abbott Point, and now I'm just underneath the roof here at an old abandoned transport depot in Bowen to change a flat tyre as I was coming out of just out of the servo down the road. Tyre blew on the trailer here, and so I'm going to have to get the jack out and yeah, get into it. I thought I'd do it on concrete and do it in the shade, make it a bit easier for me. So here we go, I'll go get the gear and we'll get into it. So here we go, the tools that I need to change the tyre. Got the jack handle, wheel brace and a bar. So I'll climb underneath here and yeah, jack her up and crack these wheel nuts and get it off. It's the inside one, so of course always a pain in the ass, got to take both of them off, but yeah, we'll get into it. So there we are, I've got it jacked up off the ground, and so when you're changing the wheel, it's you only jack the wheel just enough so it'll clear the actual jack handle when you put it underneath the wheel to lift it up. Now, this is a spider hub. You know, I've made my video on here of how to change a tyre on spider hubs. Well, since I've got time today and you know, no one here annoying me, I'll do a proper video and show you how it's done properly now. So I'll get in now and crack the wheel nut. Now these will put on with a rattle gun, but they'll still come off pretty easy. Yes, that's slider wheels. One thing I didn't show you in my last video was the fact that you never ever take the wheel nuts all the way off until you've cracked the keepers. So once you've loosened the wheel nuts, you just wind them out to the end of the thread, like that, and then hit your bar or a hammer or whatever, and you hit your keepers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Just check to see if they're all loose. Yep. Sometimes those things, if you take the wheel nut off first and you do that, you crack them, they can come off like a bloody bullet and actually hit you in the chest, hit you anywhere, kill you. They come off that fast. So okay, so the wheel nuts are off. The reason why the wheel nuts come off that easy, even though they're done with the rattle gun, one thing most people don't do when they change a wheel, I mean it's a bit hard when you're out in the side of the road, but always put nickel anti-seize on the threads when you put the wheel nuts back on, and you'll never ever have any trouble getting the wheel nuts off as you saw with that. So there's the 5 wheel nuts up there. Fingers under the whip. There's the tyre. That's a good one. Go back on. Take the spacer off. Which is yeah. Got a lot of mud and stuff in here. Pretty jammed on. Now, this is going to be a bit tricky. Because I can't get the bar underneath the tyre and lift it because it's flat, I've got to break it away from the hub, and it might be a bit tight. We'll just give her a bit of a tap and see if I can loosen it up a bit. Loosen some of the dirt. There we go. That's just enough that it's rattled off though. So the secret here is to obviously take the weight, but because the tyre's flat, it's a bit tricky to get the bar in there and lift it. come off pretty easy, so maybe flat tyre. Oh yeah, just a little bit flat. Hello. As you can see, definitely flat. She's just blowing a great big hole straight out of the tread. Absolutely rooted. Okay, well we'll go and get a spare off the tyre rack now. So there we go, I've got the spare tyre out of the rack, and what I'll do now is take the one that's blown and go and stick it in the rack while I've got the chain off, and then I can and show you how to put the wheels back on. Now, one thing I noticed when I was in the States and Canada is that you don't have tyre racks on the trailers. As I push this mongrel tyre around. Yeah, some years do carry spare tyres, but not actually mounted on rim. The actual tyre itself is just tied to the back of the cab on the prime mover or something like that. So when the tyre bloke comes out onto the side of the road, you can fit a tyre up to the rim, so you've got your own tyre. But in Australia, we all carry, all the trailers have spare tyre racks. I mean, there are some companies that don't worry about changing tyres, they just call a bloody tyre bloke. But when you're out in the middle of the bush, you might be waiting a couple of days just to get a tyre. So all trailers have tyre racks. This particular trailer only has 2 trailer tyres. It doesn't have a spare tyre for the truck, so if I get a flat on the truck, I'm sort of in the shit a bit. But so yeah, here underneath the trailer you can see the other spare tyre there on the other side, and this one's the rooted one. It's going back in here, so we'll jam her in and then get back into putting the tyres back on. So while I'm having a quick drinks break, I got my water bottle out, not just for a drink but for another reason. So here's the hub, spider hub. We're going to put the rims back on, and as you can see, there's a lot of dirt and dust and stuff around on the hub where the tyre sits. Now, before you put your spare tyres, before you change your tyres, you put your back on, you should always clean all the dust off. As you can see, I've still got the brakes on, trailer brakes are on for now. And just get all that dust off. And now to make the tyre slide on a bit easier, because as you can see it's all covered in dust and mud and stuff too, because it's been sitting underneath the truck on the spare tyre rack on the truck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my water bottle and I'm going to pour some water on here. Now you might not think water's going to do anything, but believe it or not, water is a bloody good lubricant, an extremely good lubricant. So I'm just going to pour water on the main parts that are going to get the top rim sitting on it. That should be enough. And I'm also going to put a bit of water on the rim, which will run around when I spin it around. So we're going to use water as lubricant to get it on and make it a lot easier. So we've put the water on, now it's time to put the wheel on. What I'm going to do, an old tyre, instead of lined up centre with that. Then all you do, back the tyre off a couple of inches, put your jack handle underneath the centre of the hub, roll the tyre back onto the jack handle, like so, and then just lift it up onto the hub. Simple as that. See here the valve stem, the air goes to the tyre. You want to make sure that that's lined up in between the spokes of the hub, because you don't want them getting damaged. You need to turn the bit, just lift it whichever way you need to. Kick it right in, hard against the hub. Get your spoke back. Slide that in. Get it nice and hard, make sure the valve steps in the middle between the spokes. And then get your other tyre. Took off from the outside. Same thing. Roll right to the centre. Up with that handle. And you'll notice that when I put this one on, I'm putting it in the position that the valve stem on this tyre is almost opposite the other one. You don't want both your valve stems in the same place for a couple of reasons. Firstly, believe it or not, even as the valve stem, hang on a second. Down a bit. both your belts in the same place, because believe it or not, they can actually put a tyre off balance. Both of them in the same spot. Tyre. Now I haven't tried to get my bloody jack handle out. Jesus. So I said you always got to make sure when you jack it up, to leave enough room for the jack handle. There we go. Both the tyres are on. Valve stems are at opposites. Moving it out. Wedges back in. So I haven't got these ECs down the side of the road. Get some wedges in. And basically that's what you do. And then what I'll do is I'll tighten the wheel nuts up and I'll show you how to balance the tyre up. My little tiny hammer, that's going to be my wheel balancer. Very scientific, very high tech. So we'll bring that around here and we'll show you how to balance the tyres up using a hammer. Oh, nice breeze blowing, and yes, thank Christ I've done this in the shade because that sun is a bit hot. So here's our tyre, looking down onto it. I'm going to sit the handle, I'm going to sit the hammer, right there, put the handle right up close against the side, as you can see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the tyre. I'll tell you what, I haven't even tightened her up yet, but I've got it just about spot on. So you push the handle in till it touches, and you're able to see as it comes around if there's any high spots, you can see it pushing the handle out a little bit. So all you do is just rotate it until you find the high spot again, which is there, and then you tighten the corresponding wheel nut. And yes, keep doing that until you get it all tightened up and all nicely, perfectly balanced. Oh, and if you're wondering how you stop the tyre from rotating as you're tightening the wheel nuts up, that's the other thing the hammer's for. You just jam it underneath the wheel there at the front, and as you try and tighten it, it'll just pull the hammer in like that, and nice and grippy. The tyre's not going to spin on you, so you can tighten it as tight as you want. As I said, the brakes are off, but because we tighten it this way, all you've got to do is jam the hammer underneath the tyre. As you can see, as I tighten it, pulls the hammer head up against the tyre, jams it in there against the ground, and the tyre don't go nowhere. As you can see, well, there you go. Got to jam under it. Playing silly buggers it is. So there, we lift them up a little bit. We'll get our hammer out again, sit the hammer against there, and we'll give her another spin. And that's absolutely spot on, as you can see. What you want to do is you look at the gap between the hammer handle and the rim, not the tyre itself, but the rim. As you can see, she's perfect, so we'll drop it down off the jack, nip them wheel nuts up, and go and have a feed. So there we go, tyre's changed. Most important thing to remember when you're doing what I just done, as I said, had to put it into gear, park it, to let the brakes off. Make sure you push the clutch in and put it into neutral before you hit the starter, or you could be in for a rude shock. So, clutch in, into gear, we'll kick her in the guts. All good. Let's go and park up for a bit.